Hey folks, this is JR with DIY Prepper. Welcome to the channel. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to test out a lot of solar power options. I've done everything from small solar generators that are designed to be cheap and portable, all the way to the big expandable ones that could power an entire home. But sometimes, something in the middle of that spectrum may work better for some folks. So today, we're going to take a look at the Jackery 3000 Pro, and this is what I consider to be a larger mid-size system. It has a big enough capacity to make it useful for powering household appliances, but it isn't so big that you can't load it up and take it somewhere if you need to. But before we get too far into this, I would like to thank Jackery for sending us the 3000 Pro to take a look at today, and for sponsoring this video. So getting into specs, the Jackery 3000 Pro has a 3 kilowatt hour capacity. That's enough to power large, power-hungry appliances like refrigerators for several hours, or charge small devices like cell phones around like 100 times. This power station uses lithium-ion batteries, and those are rated to last 2,000 charge cycles before they reach 70% of their original capacity. Then the 3000 Pro can handle up to 3,000 running watts and 6,000 surge watts, and that's going to be plenty for most folks during a power outage. Most household appliances don't use more than 1,800 running watts anyway, since that's at the upper end of what most standard wall outlets can handle. So you could realistically use this to power a refrigerator and box freezer at the same time, and also finish a load in your washing machine as well. But just keep in mind though, that even if a power station can run one or more larger pieces of equipment, you're going to go through your battery capacity pretty quickly if you're not careful, even if it's a big power station. So it's best to use that ability as needed and use your battery capacity for the tasks that you consider to be the most important. And if that's like food preservation, then that's fine. You just may want to move your most important stuff over to your freezer and use the power station for that, since those use a lot less electricity than a fridge does, meaning you'll be able to keep it going for longer. The 3000 Pro weighs just under 64 pounds, so it is fairly heavy. That's going to happen anytime that you have a power station with that large of a capacity because, well, batteries are never going to be light, but it does come with nice big wheels on the back along with a telescoping suitcase style handle, so it's still relatively easy to move. The handle stores away when it's not in use, and it also has carry handles on the side to make it easier to lift into the back of a truck or SUV. And I think that having wheels is really important for any power station above 1 kilowatt hour. Even though a lot of us can carry a power station weighing 40 or 60 pounds, it's not very fun, and there's a lot of folks out there that want a more capable system, but may not be in the best shape. Maybe they're a little older or have some type of disability, and being able to lift something that heavy just isn't doable for them. Having wheels will give at least some of those folks the ability to move a power station wherever they need it. The 3000 Pro is also compatible with the Jackery app, which you can use to monitor power levels, turn outputs on and off, and also control other settings. Then the power station comes with a 5-year warranty. Now, if you think that you may want to pick up a 3000 Pro or any of Jackery's other products, then be sure to use the links in the description below. Now, when it comes to recharging the 3000 Pro, you have a few different options. First, you can recharge it from a standard wall outlet in your home or a generator. Doing that, it can handle up to 1,800 watts of input and can go from 0 to 100% in under 2.5 hours. And fast charging is something that I'm always happy to see on power stations like these because it gives you the ability to top it off before a storm, or use a small amount of fuel from a traditional generator to be able to power appliances for a much longer period of time than you could just running it straight off of like a gas generator itself. Like you could run the generator for 2.5 hours to recharge this, and then use this to power something like a box freezer for a few days. Then the 3000 Pro can handle up to 1,200 watts of solar input. If you max that out and connect it to 6 of Jackery's 200 watt panels, then you should be able to fully recharge the power station in 3.5 hours under sunny conditions, and of course with your panels positioned properly. You can also connect the 3000 Pro to 2 of Jackery's 500X panels or 12 of their 100 watt panels. And to connect panels to the unit, start by setting them out and point them towards the sun. I really like that these 200 watt panels have a little side on them that helps you get your angles just right. Then connect one end of your solar charging cables to your panels and then the other end to the power station. The power station should start charging from your panels in just a few seconds. You can also charge the 3000 Pro using the 12-volt port in your car. Using that, you can charge it up in around like 35 hours. Now, that obviously isn't the fastest charging speed in the world, but it is a useful feature if you're using it on a road trip. You could do that to give it a little bit of power while you're on the road, and then use your panels when you get to your campsite or wherever else you're going. Now, for ports, the 3000 Pro has 420-volt AC outlets, which allow you to power multiple household devices or appliances at one time. But one thing that it has that a lot of other power stations of this size do not is a 30 amp RV outlet, and that's nice for a couple of reasons. First, you can use it to connect the power station to an RV. Some campgrounds may not allow fuel-based generators because of how loud they are, and you could use this to keep everything that you need running throughout your trip. You could set up panels outside of or on top of your RV to top off the 3000 Pro during the day, and its 3 kilowatt hour capacity should get you through until you can use your panels again. Then you can also use the 30 amp outlet to connect it to a transfer switch, and that'll allow you to use the 3000 Pro to power at least part of your home. Now, with a 30 amp transfer switch, you probably won't be able to power like an entire house, but you should be able to keep your most important circuits up and running. This transfer switch is set up to keep my family's fridge and freezers going, allow us to raise and lower the garage door, and do other things like keep the internet going and also use the microwave. That's really nice for short-term power outages since it'll allow you to do most of the things that you need to do without a whole lot of interruption to that. It's also a lot more convenient than running extension cords all over the place or having to move the unit each time that you want to power something different. Then after that, the 3000 Pro has two 100-watt USB-C ports and two 18-watt USB-A ports for powering small electronics, along with a 12-volt car-style outlet. Now, as far as real-world uses go, most people are probably going to use the 3000 Pro at home during power outages. Some folks may use it to keep their RV powered up on camping trips, but most people probably aren't going to use it for tent camping since it's a little bit overkill for that. It should be able to power your most important appliances and devices through most power outages since the vast majority of those only last for like a few hours. Since it has a 3 kilowatt hour capacity, you should be able to get through them just fine. You could prevent the food in your fridge from spoiling, finish a meal in your crock pot, which we've done before, or let your kid print off their project that's due the next day at school. Then you can also keep smaller devices running pretty much indefinitely if you have solar panels. Those can include things like cell phones, radios, flashlights, and other USB rechargeable devices. And if you have rechargeable AA's, AAA's, and D cells, you can keep any other battery-operated device that you have powered up as well. And I think one very good use case for this particular unit, though, is as a substitution for a larger whole home system. If you don't plan on installing a transfer switch, then having two power stations of this size may make a little more sense than having one larger power station. The cost of two of these systems is going to be in roughly the same ballpark as a 5 or 6 kilowatt hour system with a transfer switch and the installation cost for that. If you're going to spend that much money, you might as well spend it on features that you're actually going to use rather than on a bunch of stuff that you're probably not. You could keep one of your 3000 Pros or a similar system connected to, like, say, your freezer while you're recharging your other one from panels. That would also help you solve the problem of powering your devices while you're charging your power station because the cables that come with solar panels usually aren't long enough to allow you to keep them outside while they're connected to a power station inside of your home or even a garage. You could run an extension cord from your power station back into your home, but that isn't the best idea in most cases. Being able to just swap out power stations would be a lot more convenient and it would be a little more reliable as well. 3 kilowatt hours is a pretty significant capacity, so you should be able to keep something like a small box freezer running for multiple days at a time. That would give you enough wiggle room in case you go multiple days with like heavy rain or cloud cover. And we actually had that this past week where we live. It rained for several days in a row, so there's no way that we would have been able to use panels or even run a gas generator with all that going on. Having our freezer connected to one 3 kilowatt hour power source with another one in reserve would have been able to keep it going through all of that. Then if you do decide later on that you want to add a transfer switch, the 3000 Pro can connect to that. Just make sure that you get a transfer switch that's compatible. So at the end of the day, I think that the 3000 Pro is a very versatile system that gives you a lot of capability, whether you use it by itself or with other power options. And if you want to check out any of Jackery's products, then be sure to visit their website using the links in the description below. Once again, I'd like to thank Jackery for sponsoring us today. Thank y'all for stopping by. Y'all have a good one.